So,
Yeah.
I've been trying to play catch up for a little bit.
I know.
Thanks for dealing with me and my schedule. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell me your name.
Yeah, okay. Brittany Allen. BK Brows and Beauty is what I go by on Instagram, so most people will probably find me on that.
Okay,
but
say it again.
BK Brows.
Okay.
That's my Instagram handle. It'll change to Beauty eventually, like as I add more services, but right now it's just BK Brows, 'cause that's all I offer. But yeah, that's me. I've been microblading for officially
I know.
not long, but
How
I've been
long,
practicing.
though?
So I started taking clients last July. So not even a year yet that I've been taking actual clients like in a studio. I took a few models before that last March, but I didn't really do much before that. But yeah, it's been crazy.
That's exciting. Super exciting.
Yeah.
Now that this is about me, but when did you take training?
I think it was June of 2021.
Yeah.
I think that's right. And that is crazy because it feels like it was yesterday, but it also feels like it was a lifetime ago. You know what I mean?
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still I think about the class all the time. It's like probably the most fun 2 days.
It was. It really was.
Fun.
It genuinely was.
Yeah. And we had a good group of girls. It was just a really, really great time.
It really was. I still talk to a few of the girls. And like Jessica, if you remember Jessica.
I just saw Jessica.
Yeah. Jessica is.
She just did my makeup like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Jessica.
Yeah. She's just like her energy.
Yeah, I love her. I love her. Okay, so you trained June 2021.
Yeah.
And then you just started.
Yeah, so I trained June 2021. And then I took my first few models, which was like, hey mom, I need to do your brows. Right. I did that last March, so literally just over a year ago is when I started taking those first few models. And then I kind of just practiced and did a lot of research for months. Because I wasn't getting the results I wanted. I wasn't getting the depth. There's a lot that goes into it. It just wasn't happening for me yet. So I just practiced and then didn't take any clients till I felt like I was ready to move into a space, and that didn't happen until July. Yeah. Okay. So for almost about a year, you kind of were just really researching, practicing. I did. I spent a lot of time researching and just really kind of going back to the training manual and just diving in deep and finding people on Instagram that you really admire their work, stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, which I always recommend. Yeah. And I did that. I just found the people that I love their work. I found great products. Beauty Angel. I still use a lot of Beauty Angel stuff, but I always end up researching products and stuff. But I always tell my students too. I'm a product junkie. Yeah, I am. I've gotten so many products. I've tried basically every pigment line you can imagine. I know, right? But with that being said, you kind of learn the differences between some of them, and then using them in skin, how they react differently. And I found each product line is so different, and it can really it does a lot of different things for the clients. Not skin. I mean, it all holds differently, right? So you really have to do your research. You do. So you know how to work with that pigment. And product and everything. It is true. Yeah. It is true. Okay, so let's see. So training, you really practice hard. How often would you say you were practicing? In the beginning, every day. Every day. I mean, every day for almost a year. I mean, I didn't start taking clients till July. Yeah. And now, I still practice. So I will still, me and my husband would be watching TV at night, and I still pull up my latex and just, practice while we're just watching TV. Yeah. And it does make a huge difference. It makes a massive difference. Even if you could just do 30 minutes. Yes. No one says you have to spend hours and hours. And that's what I was doing. I mean, nobody wants to sit there and do that for a long time. I mean, some days, right after class. Yeah. It's so funny because I think on day 2 we practiced pretty much all day. If we weren't doing a model, we were practicing. Yeah. And I remember going home for that whole week, and I just continued to practice. Because it is fun. And then it is. You kind of obviously slow down a little bit, but I did still do anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours a day. It really is crucial. I've honestly seen on your Instagram page, everything you post, I've seen you literally just improve and improve and improve. Yeah. And not that you were doing anything wrong, because I feel if any one of my students is doing anything wrong, I'd be like, hey, sliding your DMs, But every time I just saw you get better and better, and I was just like, wow. That's what practice does. It is. And that's what seriously, you have to take the time to find what works for you.
Yeah, you do.
And trial and error, and you have to be willing to work with clients because those clients at the beginning are different than the clients are now.
I know.
With the work. I mean, they all still, like, it's funny because I'm like, the models that I did last March, I'm like, come in for your annual. I just wanted to redo your brows. They're like, no, they still look good. I'm not ready. And I'm like, I love that, but I'm ready.
Yeah,
I just want to do them again. But.
So in that, when you were finished kind of practicing and you were like, okay, I'm really ready.
Yeah.
Like, tell me a little bit about that. Well, let's back up. I want to hear about the journey, but I want to know while you were practicing, were you working on like business name and kind of branding? Nope.
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I would say I'm just now working on branding.
Okay.
The business name kind of came to me. I think my husband came up with it. I don't really know.
Yeah.
His whole family calls me BK, so
that's nice.
It was easy. It was an easy name to find.
Yeah.
But branding, I'm just now kind of getting into it. So I don't know, it's just been kind of crazy, but no, I really didn't. I mean, I was scared. It's very scary to start. I think you probably remember I texted you like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. I can't do this. But it's a lot. I wish I would have researched a little bit sooner and like figured out what I needed to do a little bit quicker because I would have taken clients sooner. But I mean, that was my hesitation. I mean, you just like don't really know how to start.
It's tough, you know?
It's really scary.
It's tough.
So, especially with like how big like Instagram is and like marketing yourself, and that's just not me. So
it could be intimidating.
It is. Yeah.
I tell students, you know, you kind of have to have that confidence to talk about your business. You know, put yourself out there. I noticed that you kind of looks like you recently did a photo shoot.
Yeah, I'm doing another one soon. Yeah,
I talk about that often.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a great marketing tool because clients are attracted to you before they're attracted to your work.
They are. They really are.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so we're jumping ahead just a little bit. I know I could talk about this forever and ever. And ever. So I really wanted to get together because not only have I seen you really grow, but I think that as an industry, we're really not talking about some of these struggles, and we're not talking about like when you're new, some of the things you didn't know, or even the importance of having someone there by your side. Yeah. You know, I know that there was a little time period where, you know, we might have been communicating really often, but then there was a time period where you were kind of doing your thing and I would just like snoop on your page and see what you got going on. So do you kind of feel like when you got into this, you felt like you needed to learn more about business? Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. Like the business piece was the scary piece. I didn't really ever, I don't think even in class I really felt super nervous about microblading itself. But the business side of it is so scary. Like if you don't know where to start, like it's just really challenging between like marketing yourself, taxes. Yeah, bookkeeping. Yeah. How to pay yourself, how to track expenses. Yeah, and I don't. I pay someone to do it. I can't. It's just not happening for me. But it's very scary. And like to your point exactly, people I think people like understand like, oh, I'm gonna get into the beauty industry and it might be a little challenging. Like a side hustle, right? Yeah. And like you see and hear that a lot, and it's true. Like it can be a really great side hustle. It can turn into seriously an amazing career, but you have to put in the work. You do. And that's what people don't realize. And then that's why a lot of people, you see it. I mean, a lot of people exit the field because it's so hard. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. And I tell, you know, my students or people, whomever that may ask questions, you know, I wear many hats, but that doesn't mean that that's my strong suit. You know, like I remember once I was ready to hire and I was like, anybody that, you know, came to like my interview, I was like, you're hired. Yeah. And then when they all did horrible, I was like, okay, I suck at hiring. Obviously, I thought she was cute. She would look, you know, fit the part. So, and I'm not good at like the bookkeeping and those kinds of things. So, you know, I think it's important to know like where you're strong and where you're weak and like reach out. For sure. And outsourcing is a great thing. And I'm sure this is like a topic that we can cover later. Yeah. But like if you have the ability to pay someone that's an expert in a field that you're not, it is like it's amazing. I mean, I had somebody catch up my books for taxes and it was pricey, but when I tell you it took like the biggest load of stress off of my plate. It was like honestly like the best money I've ever spent. And guess what? That was a write-off. Yeah, I know, right? Realize the write-offs, you know, in their business. So as we talk about business and
you know, how scary it is. And really it's just the knowledge, you know, getting connected with the right people, like you said, that are experts in that can really teach you. And then it becomes easier, you know, and then you're like, okay, that's what I'm going to do all the time.
Yeah. And another piece of this too is like having a good support system. So like and I'm not just talking about like family and friends and stuff like that, like people in the industry, like you and like Jessica. Yeah. And Jessica's helped me a lot with like pigment and stuff like that. And I think I texted you one day and I said, we need a call because I'm about to have a meltdown. Yeah. And like, it's true though, like having those connections really in the industry is like what is going to keep you going, because like all your friends can be like, oh, keep going, you got this. Your husband or your wife can be like, oh, you got this. You're doing great. Yeah. But you really need that support in the industry.
Because you don't know what you don't know, you know? Exactly. And if there's someone, you know, around, whether it's a mentor or, you know, a friend like you and Jessica, you know, you can kind of talk about some things and you're like, hey girl, what numbing are you using? You know, like this isn't working. Exactly. You know, so that's really important. So let's talk a little bit about, I think this is another topic we don't talk about enough, the different skin types and like how you've kind of gone through trial and errors with the different kind of clients, like oily skin or big pores or, you know, strokes not lasting.
It's been crazy because, like, you learn this in class, right? Like, you really get a good in-depth overview of, like, different skin types. You go into it thinking, like, I got this. Yeah. Well, then you have a client and their skin is already, like, naturally really taut or, like, really tough skin, and you're like, how do I work with this? And then oily, you slay an oily client and you're like, feeling on top of the world, and then they come in for their touch-up, and you're like, wait, why did this bleed out like that? Yeah. But like the reason is because of the skin. Like you're taught that, so you really have to kind of be knowledgeable on that. And that was probably one of my hardest things. Yeah. That and just like skin tone in general, an undertone with pigment, like that is no joke. Yeah. You have to nail that.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah. And I think a lot of times, because I know in training, I can say certain things and it really doesn't hit home until you're maybe after you've done it even, you know?
Even after that, I mean, I've had probably over 50 clients at this point. Yeah. And you still learn. Like you still get clients with different skin than you've worked on before. You do. I had a client recently. Like, I'm telling you, her skin was so tough. Like, and other clients, like, they'll cut like butter. And it's just, yeah, you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know.
It's really different. I always say experience is the best teacher. And I say that to my kids. But even in this case, touching skin is really going to help you get better. Yeah. And I sometimes have students that are, like, really afraid to touch skin, you know, get on a real model or, you know, take free models even if they need to. Yeah. And I'm like, you have to do it. You can do latex all day long and it really helps with the pattern. Yep. But you have to get on skin.
It doesn't really do anything for like the depth though. I mean, it does to an extent, like, but you don't know if you're going too deep on somebody that has super thin skin. Yeah. And I've noticed that like you use a lot less pressure in the tail. Like that is a key because like you can go real deep real quick on the tail.
You can. Yeah, it's just thinner over there.
Yeah, you know? So you just have to be cautious and like seriously breathe through every stroke. Yeah. Have an idea of where you're starting and where you're finishing, and go lighter.
Like, go lighter. I love that. Go lighter. I tell students that. I tell clients that. Like, listen, we can go a little lighter, and then if we need to go darker, that's what the touch-up is for. You know?
That happens to me all the time. Yeah. Like, I've had a few clients recently. They're like, hey, I love my brows, but I want them to be darker. And I'm like, first off, that's fine. Like, we can do that. Also, microblading is a buildable process. Yeah. So you build the brow. Like, and I actually read this thing one time. It was great. It said, brows look better with 2 coats just like your nails do.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I know. And I'm like, everyone can relate to that.
Yeah, that is true. That is really true.
Brows always look better. Yeah.
How do you feel the process was for like creating your forms and really like getting into your space?
I was not worried about that because you helped us with that.
I know, I made it easy for you.
You really did. I mean, I didn't really worry about, so like I have a contract and it's pretty much I don't know if you remember, I don't know if you do this for all your classes, but you gave us a contract.
I do. Yeah.
And I seriously took that and ran with it. Yeah. Like, that's what I use. And it covers everything.
And it takes the pressure off of some of the other things you need to...
The only thing that, like, I didn't do immediately is read the contract.
different name in there? Or like
no, it wasn't that. Like I was typing it. I was running late for a client, so I was just trying to finish it really quick, just to like make sure it was my name. But like I didn't know what it said.
That's funny. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That is so funny, but that's just, how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
You're busy.
It was like my first client, and it was like I had just signed the studio that I was going to, which is 614 Flash Bar, and we had just like, okay, I'm gonna start this day, and she made a post that I was joining the team, and somebody messaged me like within an hour.
Oh my god!
And I was like, holy cow! And it was like a Thursday, and she wanted them done on Saturday. So I like sent her a pre-care. I said, if you're good here, then okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have my contract ready.
Right.
Like, I wasn't ready for that.
I was like, oh crap, she has to sign something.
Yeah. So that appointment was at like noon. It's like 10 a.m. and I'm like trying to finish this contract, but it worked out.
Yeah,
so.
And it always does, right? It always does.
It always does.
Those first few clients, did you charge them? Did you not charge? Kind of what did you do?
Yeah, so like my models, no. My
Okay.
first like 3 models, I didn't. Okay, it was my mom. I'm not gonna charge.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna charge my mom. And then my husband's sister, I didn't charge her.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like very close people to me that are like always gonna be on my sideline no matter what. I didn't charge those people.
Mm-hmm.
Once it was like my friend's cousin, though, then I charged like $150.
Okay, nice.
So I did. I mean, nobody wants to work for free.
Exactly.
So I did that for a while. Like my model prices were very reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went into a studio, we offered a small promo.
Okay.
So that kind of got clients in the door. And I do still like offer discounts here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people like it.
Yeah, they do.
You can attract a certain, you know what I mean? Like you can attract those clients that want it done, but are like kind of afraid to pay the money.
Yeah. So with that being said, kind of take me through what your price point was and where you are now. So obviously you did some model fees at like $150.
Yes.
Where'd you go after that?
So, and then when I started with 614, I went up to $250 for the promo for a month. Mm-hmm. And this all happened since July. So, okay. So July till whatever the month after July is, August.
Right.
August. We did the $250 price, and then I did $150 touch up for a while.
Okay.
And I found I was doing that price because it was taking me a lot of like longer time. So I was like,
because you're still learning.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. So I was like, I don't really want to not make any money on the touch up. So and then I bumped it up to $350. I did that for a while.
Okay.
And then I'm currently at $449 initial. That's and then
awesome.
I brought my touch up down to $129.
Okay, that's great for a touch up.
Yeah. So I thought that was a pretty reasonable price. I thought $150 was a little too high.
Yeah.
So yeah, $129 for my touch up, $449 for the initial.
Yeah. And I see your little promos here and there, which I kind of think there are some people in the industry who discourage that. I don't think we'll really ever get away from that. I still do it from time to time.
I don't think the only reason I'm doing it now is because I'm building my books. Like, and I know it's like not the best way to like get your clients. I get that, but like I also work a full-time job. Like
that's right. You still work.
I can offer a discount. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't bother me at all. And honestly, giveaways have been like the number one reason for my following. Good. So giveaways are great.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, I do a few promos here and there. I actually just did a fun one. I don't know if you saw it, but it was like a content model call. So basically, this was really fun. So people, all they would have to do is submit a photo of their brows, bare brows, no previous work, dry to normal skin. Yeah. And they would submit their brows and then tell me what they were looking for. And I had several people enter. But the cool thing about it, and it was at a discounted price, right? Cool thing about it is I picked my own clients. Yeah. So like and it's a content model. So I'm gonna like record most of the service. Yep. And I basically
Instagram posts,
I'm basically able to market the type of client I want because I don't know. It was just like really fun. It was cool. And then with that, you kind of identify some future potential clients.
Yeah, you do.
Because people reach out to you,
Yeah, they do. They do. And I sometimes, when I do little promos like that, people that are kind of like residual or left over, I kind of still offer them a little something.
I did. Yeah, so I ended up reaching out, and it wasn't much, but it was 10% off. Yeah. So, which is still nice.
It's still nice. And if they were interested, maybe they'll take you up on the offer or come back around later.
Exactly.
I've had that happen too. So I know before we started, we were chatting and we were like, okay, we gotta stop. So if you wouldn't, I know you said you still are working full time.
Yes.
And then you're doing brows. So
it's crazy.
Tell me, have you surpassed the income that you make from your full-time job?
I will say yes.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to determine because, like, I've spent a lot of money on products. Because, like, I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? I want enough product for over 100 clients.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. So I spent a lot of money on that. But, yeah. So last month was my first month where I actually surpassed, like, my salary at my full-time job, which is crazy. And this month I will as well. And it's wild because I took the first 3 weekends off in April. So I have no clients until tomorrow. I have a touch-up. And then I have 2 clients on Sunday. Those are my first clients all month.
Yeah.
And I'll still have 20 clients this month.
That's amazing.
And I will definitely surpass my income.
Yeah, you will. And just to be clear, not that products cost a lot.
Yeah, right. No, they don't.
I'm a product junkie. And then if, you kind of, like you said, you wanted to buy enough to have for enough clients, which is really smart.
I literally bought so much stuff.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So it's almost, it's a wash, and then you make money. Just
for a while,
later.
it kind of is. So, like, okay, like I already said, I started taking clients pretty much in July. I would say for the first few months, it really was a wash because you're spending money on product that you might not use because you're testing the waters. You gotta find what you like. You gotta find the blades you like. You gotta find the product you like. It's just, there's a lot that goes into it. And then, and then you like start to build your books and you're always not busy in the beginning. So the money's not always coming in, but you're still spending money on rent.
Yeah.
That stuff adds up.
Yeah,
so
it does add up.
You really just have to like keep going with it.
Yeah.
Keep pushing through. The money will show.
Yeah. And then in your case, you were still working full time.
Yeah.
So, and you're not in the beauty industry, so that's not your other job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were new to beauty and you chose permanent makeup.
Yeah.
But definitely, I always tell students, like, if you are a hairstylist or like a nail tech, you'll kind of evolve even a little faster because you already have a pool of clients.
Very true.
And you already got like that money flowing in.
A lot of like, so I have friends that are like nail techs that are like, oh my gosh, I need to do PMU.
I know.
And a lot of times, like, I actually have a friend right now that's looking to train, and she's like in her client series already. Like, hey, I'm getting certified. Like, it's a great starting point. I didn't personally have that, so I really had to hustle. And I mean, you really got to do what you got to do. But I think I'll be able to quit my job soon.
So when would you like to quit your job? Like, what's the goal for that?
Truly, I could do it now. Like, I really could do it right now. But I think, like, a good game plan is, like, July. I mean, it gives me a year with clients.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's an awesome goal.
Yeah, that's my goal. I mean, the other part of this, too, though, is, like, I do love my full-time job.
Yeah, so that's hard.
So it's really hard because, like, it uses a different kind of, like, side of my brain. And, it's just, it's challenging. But this is my passion. So.
Yeah. And so it'll work out the way it has to.
It has to.
Yeah.
It has to work out.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So tell me if you've had a situation with like a really, really difficult client, like brow shaping wise or a client being difficult in any way.
I have. Okay, so I've realized most clients are great. But like you do get
some crazies a little bit.
Oh my God. I did these brows and they looked really good. Like the strokes look great. But okay, I drew this map on and it was perfect.
And your mapping is clean.
Thank you.
By the way.
Thank you.
Super clean. Sometimes when I like am scrolling and it pops up and I'm like, who is that? I'm like, I have to like try to zoom in and I'm like, damn.
Thank you. Lots of practice. Yes. Crisp lines, sharp pencil, breathe through it. Mapping takes me longer than brows.
Oh yeah, always.
And maybe one day it won't, but today it does. So, I map these beautiful brows, and I'm sure you've had this where you're like, I fucking killed this.
Yes.
And then you like show the client, they're like, no, and I'm like, what do you?
And you're like,
So this client, like, I gave her a beautiful arch. She naturally had really thin eyebrows. She literally wanted me to like boom, boom, like
to the side.
Serious, like up though.
Oh.
Like here to here, like super straight brow. It was crazy, and it was like hard for me to draw because it's not easy to like go outside of
the hair.
Yeah.
Or
well, she didn't really have a lot of
structure.
hair, but like the bone structure, and it was just like that was challenging for me. And then I actually recently had a client. Which this put me into a little bit of anxiety at the end of the appointment because I completely was like, I slayed these brows. But she looks at them and she's like, they're way too thin. They're way too thin. And I'm like, oh no. So
how big do you want them?
I know. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, what do you want me to do? Like, we're still here. What do you want me to do? So we did end up lengthening some of the strokes just because she straight up was like, I don't like these. I'll put makeup in these tomorrow. And I'm like, you cannot do that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. I said, I don't care. Like, we'll fix this tonight. Before you go, you have brows that you love. But, like, that's just, like, situations that not everyone talks about. Like, you will get those clients. And she was so sweet, by the way. Like, she was not mad at me. Like, we worked through it. She was just, like, expecting something else.
Yeah. So how do you feel like you kind of understand a client's expectations since having those experiences?
It still can be hit or miss sometimes.
Yeah,
like, I mean, there's going to be situations even a year from now where I maybe didn't satisfy a client completely.
Yeah, it's true.
But one thing you really have to do is, like, do your best to do whatever you can. I mean, that's what clients want, right?
Yeah.
Like, they maybe their brows are subpar, maybe they don't really love them, but if you're a good person, that's what they're going to remember.
It's so true. I always tell people, students, you know, I strive to give my clients an experience.
Yeah.
You know, I try to get to know them. I ask them about their lives, their kids, where do they live, you know, and I'll say, like, if you don't mind me asking, what do you do for a living? You know, just really talk to them.
It's so important.
It is. And you'll be so surprised, like, the topics they bring up and talk about, and then you'll be so surprised if they're just mute.
Oh my gosh, I heard some crazy
things. Yeah, we are their therapists, you know?
Yeah, but I'm a deep talker too, so, like, we could just go on and on and on and on. And I've had clients be like, oh, I feel like I just went through therapy.
I know, I've had clients cry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, they just get so emotional. And you can tell too, like, I don't know, I can just, like, tell, especially, like, when I really get to know a client, because I do become, like, pretty good friends with a lot of my clients.
You do.
Just love them. And I have a couple clients that I, like, talk to on the regular now. But my one girl came in for a touch-up, and I could just tell she was just, like, having a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So, like, you just really got to try to, like, be there for your clients. I mean, nobody's saying you have to become everyone's best friend and, like, hang out with them on the weekends. But, like, you can still...
You can.
Be encouraged. You know what I mean? Like,
I have clients that, like, we'll send, like, links to outfits to each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so cute.
And so I, like, I put brow razors in everyone's, like, to-go bag or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't want no one to wax. Like, use this. But clients have reached out to me and they're like, hey, do you have a link for those brow razors? Really liked them. Something as quick as that. I mean, that takes, like, 3 seconds. You know what I mean? And that's, to them, like, that's all they wanted. They just wanted, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've even had a client, maybe if her skin wasn't in the best condition and she opened up to me about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll recommend some things, you know, or I'll suggest someone to her.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I'll just simply ask, have you ever considered, you know, going to get a facial and having someone look at your skin?
And people like honesty.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, nobody wants, and I'm not, like, nobody's trying to lie to anyone intentionally. But, like, there's also, like, certain conversations that not everyone feels
comfortable.
Like, exactly, especially with, like, a client. But, like, I found clients and just people in general just, like, want an honest answer. So that's what people are looking for. They don't want to waste their time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't want to be lied to. And with that being said, have you had a client that you had to be brutally honest and turn away yet?
Yeah, I sent her to you.
Well, let's not say the name. But
no, it's for removal. Like, she came in because she wanted to cover up, and I was like, I can't do your removals. But I also can't do your removal, so. And her and I seriously, like, we had a really long conversation, and I said, honestly, like, I wish I could sit here and say that I can give you perfect brows. Yeah. She has, like, a wedding coming up. Like, she has a lot of huge milestones coming into her life. And it just, like, I mean, and we went back and forth because we really did want to get her to a place where we could do that. But it just got to a point where, like, even in the consultation, like, I was just honest with her, like, your brows are oversaturated. You really either need to wait this out or get removal. And people don't really want to hear that.
Yeah, it is really hard. There's times where I've had clients where it's like we're pushing the envelope on whether or not I can do this. you know?
Yeah.
And even me, 7 years in, I'm kind of like, I'll push that envelope because you really want to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know that, like, the artist they went to wasn't the greatest, you know? And with your
and everything's changed. Like,
it has. I tell clients that all the time. We are an industry, we're evolving and we're learning things, growing. You know? Mm-hmm. And so pigments we used even 4 years ago is formulated different than what we're using now.
Yeah, so then you get like those clients that over time have faded a really unpleasant color, or it's just like too deep.
Yeah.
And you can't really do anything with pigments too deep other than remove it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I would say not shattering, but it's for them, you know, it's emotional because we first of all, as artists, we love making people confident and beautiful and happy.
Yes.
And that's
what we do, right?
That's what we do.
Yeah.
So when they have to leave, it's like, oh, that sucks. Yeah. I had to turn a client away a couple weeks ago, and her brows were just they were microbladed, but they almost looked borderline tattooed as well, and they were just very uneven. And she kept, you know, she told me what she wanted, and this is what the look was she was going for. And I kept finding that we were deviating from that based on what she had. And I was like, listen, I can't do this. Like, it's against my moral belief to do this to you because it's not what you want. Yeah. So I recommended for her to get laser. And although I do removal, you know, I teach removal, I am starting to just refer people to get laser more and more.
Yeah.
Just because
it's a faster effect.
It's easier. Yeah. And then they can start over brand new, you know.
And there's really not a lot of like bad side effects of laser.
No.
It's usually pretty easy. It's almost easier than some other removal processes.
It is. This is a question I ask clients, and feel free to steal this one. Are you okay living with this for a little while longer? Yeah. Like while I do the sessions of lightening, and you got to heal like 6 to 8 weeks in between each one, or is this bothering you that bad you want it gone almost instantly? Yeah. If they say almost instantly, you need to go get laser. If they're like, oh, I've been living with it, I can a little longer, then we can try the lightening sessions and see where we get, you know, something like that. But with that being said, that pulls me into the last topic we'll do. What new techniques are you thinking of doing? Have you done since training? What's next?
So I am almost done with the removal course. Okay. It was online. I did a lot of research and a lot
of Tell me who it is.
It is, Brow Academy.
What
her name is like, it's Lift.
Okay, Lift. Yeah.
So I'm going through a Lift training.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I really like the product. Mm-hmm. It seems like it's got good.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I use both.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was, I don't know, affordable. Yeah. I mean, this stuff's expensive.
It is. Training is expensive.
It is very expensive.
It is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then other trainings that I was working on, because it's expensive, I was like, I picked up microblade quick. I can do this online. Turns out I can't.
What is it?
Online is challenging. Ombre.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think that's challenging? Okay.
I just can't. I don't know. Rhythm. So I do need to take an in-person course. Mm-hmm. So the girl I went to, do you know Siren Beauty Bar? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So she did my brows. She's actually the very first person that I found in Columbus. Before I even knew what anything in PMU was, she's the very first person I ever saw doing PMU. Yeah. So she did my brows, obviously, recently. I don't know how long ago, but I might train with her.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
So awesome. I'm excited about that.
That's super exciting. I will tell you, her and I have chatted a little bit, on Instagram, and I'm like, if she sees this, right? I'm like, I told her, I was watching her. I'm tempted. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to trust other people to do my eyebrows. I've been doing my brows for 5 years. Yeah. And I just stand in the mirror and do them, So it's now I'm getting tired of doing it myself. To be honest, I'm not putting the right pressure. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's
I don't know how you did it, because you did it recently, a few months ago, right?
I did, but then I went to the gym every day. So it's
You know what is so funny? Oh my gosh. I went to the gym too, after I got mine done, and I'm like, just don't break a sweat. And I'm like, you know what's funny too? When I was going through the healing process, and you don't have to have this, but I was like, when you're a brow artist, but don't trust the process.
I know.
It is scary.
It can be. It really can be. It's and then my brows turn into they're flaking, and it's don't look at me. But really no one ever notices but you. Yeah. Maybe your husband or something.
Oh, yeah. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, my husband's always is that gonna go away? I'm like, it'll be fine. But I'm like close to where I would let her,
she's good. I mean, like she really is good, and she's one of, like I said, she's the very first person that I saw. Is good. Yeah, I think she's really talented. So I've been kind of chatting back and forth with her to potentially.
Tell her I say hi.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
And then, when you want to know tons more about machines, you just hit me up.
Yeah.
I'll tell you all about machines. I love machines.
Really? I'm scared. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know why I'm so scared. It's not
bad.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because I was a nail tech. I don't know why I like tattoo machines. I have like 7.
I have 2.
Okay. Which ones do you have?
I got a really cheap one just to practice on Amazon, something like that.
But that's how we start.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Exactly. This is how we start. We gotta be able to afford it. So we can offer it.
Yeah.
And then I just got the Mass Tour Y22.
Okay, so, Mass Tour.
Yeah.
That's a really popular.
It is.
EMU
and
machine.
it's. I read. I think I did a thing on Instagram and I looked through all of the recommendations I got and I did so much research. I mean, that's another huge thing. It's you really have to spend the time to do the research.
You do.
Because you don't want to just get anything. You want to make sure that it's got good reviews, it's lightweight, it's easy to use, all that.
And how much was your Mass Tour, if you don't mind me asking?
It was $220.
Okay, yeah,
what I got.
And that's good. That's good. I recently got the the Flux S, and you've seen that.
Did you?
I did.
Is that new? That's new, right?
It's
new. I thought so.
And I don't. Well, you've not taken my ombre training. I always tell my students that I don't like to run wireless, right? Because you can't go down.
Oh, interesting.
Past usually on a wireless device, you can't go past 5 or 6.
Very
speed.
Interesting.
And I sometimes tattoo at 4. 4.5.
Oh my gosh.
And I'll do lips at 3.8, something like that. So
wow.
I've always ran on a cord. And so when they came out with this and you can go down to a 4, I was like, okay. And the stroke length, which is the stroke where the needle kind of goes back up in and hits the skin. So other people might call it, the hit on the skin. You can kind of buy your machine tailored to what you like.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know, but it's a pretty penny.
Yeah,
it's
I bet.
$1,300.
I was gonna say I've seen some really pricey ones, and I'm maybe one day, but
and like you said, one day. But I've gradually, got there.
Upgraded that.
But it does make a difference.
And that's what you do over time. You just continue to get better product. You just upgrade everything.
Yeah, everything. Any other new things coming?
No, that's pretty much it.
No nano feather brows?
I gotta get comfortable with the machine first. It's scary, I don't know why, but
it's scary for me.
I just can't get the right technique. I see all these pixels on Instagram and I'm like, I'll be there one day, but I'm content with
and that's all that matters. That's a really good point.
I'm not full time yet. I don't need to add a bunch of services, but I will have new it doesn't matter what I have to do, I will have new services before I go full time.
Yeah.
Not new services, but more services.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Super exciting. Well, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
I know that I'm thrilled about your growth.
Thanks.
I think that's super awesome.
I would not be here without my support.
I know. And I think that's really important in this industry. You see sometimes a lot of cattiness and not wanting to share.
Oh my gosh. But, that's a whole different topic.
It's a whole different topic. Part 2.
Yeah, right?
All right. Well, girl, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was fun.